Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you I have another Sprocket Community Steel. I get asked a lot of questions. How do I submit my Community Steel video? How do I submit my blueprints for Community Steel? There's a tutorial on my YouTube channel. Check out my playlist on importing and exporting vehicles. Get on Discord, send me the blueprints. You can find me on the Sprocket Discord, as well as you can find me in my own Discord. Link in the video description. And actually, I do kind of have kind of like my own little Sprocket community going on, where there's a lot of different guys that discusses Sprocket as well as post their blueprints. It's pretty wild, so I kind of just let those guys do what they want to do, and every once in a while I react or even comment to what is said. But anyway, let's kick off today's Community Steel video with the STRV 120B from Palio. And this weighs in at 35 tons. It is definitely based on the Wagon 105. Wagon 103. Wagon 103. But this one is armed with a 120 millimeter main gun. It is fixed in the hull, kind of. The gun elevates. You can raise and lower the gun by itself. It doesn't affect the hull or the suspension like the real one does. However, the gun has no side-to-side traverse. It's got 215 millimeters of penetration. It is for the late war period. It is actually quite fast. It's really fast. Armor-wise, it's not really the best armored, but that's kind of the problem with a vehicle of such small size and weight. You're kind of limited on how much armor you can have. And that being said, it does have a small size. And in my opinion, it is actually a pretty good rendition of a Wagon 103, even though this actually has a 120. So it's kind of an upgrade, I guess you could say, to the 103. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. And this one is the T50A from Skits 123YT. This weighs in at 44 tons, another late war vehicle, as you can see here. I am Taiga with it. And this is armed with the 105 millimeter main gun with 216 millimeters of penetration, and it has a lot of spaced armor. However, that being said, I had to customize this a little bit because for some odd reason the gunnery sight that he had placed himself was blocked, and I had to place a gunnery sight on the vehicle myself. And generally speaking, I had to put it on the roof. And I also had to, there's a thing I have to disable or enable so you can build pretty much anywhere on the tank. So that way I could actually put it on the roof. And the problem with that is it definitely decreased the gun accuracy because, yeah, it's on the roof. It's off to the left and on the roof. So it kind of screws up the positioning of it. Either way, as that being said, the armor on this thing isn't bad, nothing great. It is, however, very effective because he's got a really small turret. He's got a really sharp angled hull. Speed-wise, really good speed. Gets up and goes really well, crosses terrain really well. No real complaints on that end. So, all in all, not a bad-looking vehicle. And I do kind of like how he has the spaced armor all over the place. The next vehicle I have here is from Patty 25 Scoops. Yes, 25 scoops. I don't know why not. Why not 24 scoops? Why not 26 scoops? It's 25 scoops. Well, let's get underway here. This is the Centurion Mark III. Now, I did have one issue with the Centurion Mark III here, and that is this thing has absolutely no gun depression. I have no idea. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say absolutely none, but very little. Understand that I think it's -8 or -10 for the actual Centurion. That being said, this weighs in at 49 tons. Looks very reminiscent to the Mark III version of the Centurion, and it's armed with armed with the 84 millimeter main gun, 201 millimeters of penetration. Speed, not bad. Maneuvers around pretty well. I wouldn't say it's anything super special, but it works just perfectly fine. It's for the late war period. So all in all, not bad. It's got the 20-pounder gun. 20-pounder gun is pretty effective, at least for what I'm going up against here. But yeah, I did have some problems with the depression. That was definitely an ongoing issue. Very frustrated with the depression of some of the vehicles I've been receiving recently. I'm not sure if it's the creators or if there's something going on with Sprocket itself. I want to throw that out there. So if anybody knows, please comment in the comment section down below. So the next vehicle, I have the Kriegswagen X from Dent. And this is his 11.63 ton hover tank. Yes, folks, it's a hover tank. Everybody and their brother and sister in Sprocket wants about cursed tanks. There you go. Make me hover tanks. Let's see the hover tanks. Because Dent pulled it off, and he's the first one I seen to pull it off. This weighs in at 11.63 tons. It's got a 127 millimeter main gun with 124 millimeters of penetration. This is for the late war period. And maneuverability, well, it's not great. It's kind of odd. Like, the acceleration kind of feels off. But it does seem like it can get up and go at moments. Not quite sure where to put the mobility here. The Thane suffers really bad from recoil. And, well, it's a 127 millimeter main gun on a hover tank chassis, folks. And it's even worse on the side. Like, if you traverse the turret to the side, the recoil is even worse because the tank just shimmies so damn much. So, good Lord, here it is, a hover tank. Beat that. And the next vehicle I have here is from Dent as well. This is the Kriegsland Boot. Das Boot. And it is 75 tons. This is a pretty heavy monstrosity, actually. With a 100 millimeter main gun, 65 millimeters of penetration, and this is for the interwar period. The penetration is nothing to write home to mom about. Absolutely nothing special. It's just good enough for this time period. The shell drop is really bad, but I do want to point out that the armor is really amazing as I'm going up against S-35s. These are Samuas, guys, and they are not penetrating this thing. And that being said, this thing is an absolute machine gun death blossom. There is machine guns everywhere. There's so many machine guns. The machine guns have machine guns, which then also has more machine guns. Folks, once again, cursed designs. Find me something more cursed than this. It looks like a tank. It acts like a tank. It quacks like a tank. But it's got a lot of fucking machine guns on it. Yeah, that's good stuff. Anyway, folks, that's all I got for you today with today's Community Steel. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful day.